you are the CEO of Walix, and I chose the title. It's quite original, but you will explain what it's in.
Hi, everybody. First, I want to thank you, Thierry, for this proposal to assist to this conference, and perhaps to talk about, to enter this conference with real-life words. In fact, why cyber attacks could change, perturb your life, your personal life, or your organization's life. I mean, the threat today is to come back to your office. Your threat today is to come back to your office on Monday and to see, when you are logging to your organization's network, to see that you are receiving a cyber attack, you are asked to pay a ransom, and you know that you enter into a nightmare. This nightmare is the reality of a cyber attack, which stops your organizations, your organization, your subsidiaries, your commercial extents, your business for several days, several weeks, several months. So you have to be careful not to wake up on Monday with this situation.
Because the attack began on Friday evening.
Most of the cyber attacks are beginning on Friday afternoon or Friday evening, just before the weekend. Because a lot of pirates know that it's the period where most of the people are entering their weekend, their, I would say, free life session. And they know that you will have less people to correct, to find a right way to come back to a normal situation. So they know that they will have the weekend to spread the virus, to spread the malware or the ransomware in the organization without the engineers present in the office.
Thank you. Have you the number of the cyber attack in France and foreign? In 2021 and 2022, I think there is a big expansion.
Yes, we know that in 2022, the impact of the cyber attacks has been evaluated around $16,000 million worldwide. And we know that it will double until 2025, which means that a lot of organizations which have been attacked since several years are going to face a new cyber attack. And we know that many new businesses are going to be attacked. So the figures in France are various, but we know the number of cyber attacks have grown by 2.5 times from last year, which means that more and more organizations are attacked, and the situation is accelerating. The cyber attacks are accelerating, impacting more and more often the organizations. We used to say that there are two types of organizations: those who have been attacked, those who don't know they are under attack.
What is strange, and very strange, that attack to the hospital is more and more frequent, and it looks like the hospital don't prevent this type of attack. Why?
So the paradox is that hospitals or clinics are very key for our daily life because they are taking care of our healthcare. And we also know that they are regulated, they have obligations to be equipped against cyber attacks. But the paradox is that the data which are contained into the database, the information systems of the hospitals are very precious. The value of the healthcare data is the most valuated regarding all the data in general. Healthcare data for each of us, the cost of this information is around $600 per person, which means that each of our personal informations inside contained into an hospital network is precious and could be sold on a parallel market on the darknet. This is the reason why a lot of cyber attacks are occurring, are impacting the hospitals. And the other big reason is that something you have to know, everybody have to know, is that the cyber attacks are most of the time not sophisticated, but they are spreading widely, which means that if you are not enough protected, if your cyber tools, cyber protections are not modern enough, you won't be able to be protected against a common cyber attack. So the first reflex is to protect and to modernize your information system.
There is different type of attack, but what is the more frequent? Everybody receive every day the spam from a bank. It's not really your bank, your habitual bank, but there is a tentative. I think in this dans la salle, you can put your hand up. We receive from several months advice of Gendarmerie Nationale because vous êtes accusé de pédophilie.
Because you are accused of being a pedophile. How many people received a letter, a mail from the gendarmerie?
Jean-Noël, we know that the most frequent attack of virus came from the employee who are going to click on the mail.
Yes. The first vector I was looking for, one of the last cyber attack. For example, one of the frequent cyber attack is the fraud of the president. Perhaps you have met this kind of attack. So one of my friends, for example, received here a WhatsApp coming from a partner who had a customer engagement commitment to buy a cyber solution. So the amount of the sum asked of they ask for 326,000 for 326,000 of euros, which means that they are taking my name, using my pictures coming from the different internet pictures you could find commonly, and they are asking to somebody who knows me very well, who has a relation with me, dropping names around us to ask for money with a particularly personal discussion. So a confidential discussion. It is quite frequent. And it is one of the way a lot of pirates are trying to make fraud, to steal money. You could be a victim of such an attack. The most frequent attacks are, for example, what we call the DDoS attack, deny of services attack, which means that a pirate will sell a lot of emails or connections at the same time to make your network come down and your organization blocked from the internet. Other frequent attacks, cyber attacks, are the phishing, you receive an email, it looks like a familiar email or situation, and you are engaged to click on a particular link. And you have to be careful with that because it is the most frequent way. Pirates, cyber hackers are getting information from you, and these informations will be used for future cyber attacks, or these informations will be sold on the internet. Another important kind of cyber attack is targeting the organizations which are gathering a lot of data, contents, and informations on customers' informations, healthcare informations, data coming from your business card. These informations, these companies are particularly subject to the data threats. And it is true that you have to keep in mind how your data, the data you are gathering in your organizations, have to be protected against the risk of cyber attacks, because the data are the oil of your future innovations, particularly when you are going to use artificial intelligence to build innovations for your customers and your company. And because the data are a real asset for your company. And you will have in the future an obligation to protect the personal data you are managing and the industrial data you are collecting to build your future business.
Yeah, thank you. We speak about cyber war and with the Russian and Ukraine. What's happened before the Russian came?
So during at the beginning of the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, cyber attacks have been used as an offensive way to interrupt the energy networks and the transportation systems. I would say what we call the essential services for the people in their daily life. So it's a way to stop, for example, the energy network, I would say, to scare the people, to create an atmosphere, an anxiogene atmosphere where the people fear about the situation and the conflict. Another way to use cyber virus or programs, it is used by the armies in the world to, for example, to avoid informations, I would say information collect done by the enemies, for example, with the radars or the informations coming from the adversary, the opponent, and they are using the virus to create a confusion and make the operations unavailable for the opponent.
Do you think that some missile, some Ukrainian missile was lancé, parti, go and come back to the Ukraine?
I think that one thing is sure, because we don't have enough informations today about I would say, the consequence of this conflict on our activities. What we know is that the threats today are at a very high level. There are a lot of cyber attacks incoming in many organizations today at the state level. A lot of essential services operators are targeted by cyber attacks today in the energy, transportation, healthcare sectors. And it is a period, I would say, where you are in a kind of Far West for the cyber pirates. It is a period, it is a war period, war situation, where a lot of cyber hackers are free to operate.
But sometimes cyber attack specialist is engaged to make a verification of a company. Ils changent de camp, donc ils arrivent dans le monde.
Something has to be.
They change sides, actually. Hackers are hired to find the best solutions to protect.
I would say cyber security or a digital policy for your organization. You have to consider that most of the time your headquarters are the place where you are protected. So your weaknesses are coming from the periphery of your organization. So, for example, one important thing to take into account is the level of the cyber resilience and the cyber protection coming from your supply chain, coming from your subsidiaries, coming from your external providers. Because even if your headquarters is for Knox, you have to be sure that your providers incoming in your network, connecting daily to your network or managing your data, helping you in your business locally, could be in another camp or could have another priority or could not have the same cybersecurity referential as you. So you have to be careful with the whole part of your chains, the chain of trust, which is your network in your organization.
So with the COVID, the work at home was very developed. And as the PCs in the kitchen, it's a risk.
Something's true is that when we entered the COVID, a lot of companies had to take decisions to buy computers, to equip their employees very fast, and to think about their digital transformation in several hours when they took a lot of years to, I would say, and commit in the digital transformation or to spend, to invest where they have to invest to have, I would say, a sustainable, long-term and responsible digital transformation. So the danger of the remote or the home office is coming from the fact that we are all connected to the same network, even at home, in during your transportation or your moves, your travels, or at the office. We are all interconnected. So we are in a period where the challenge for the companies is to be able to identify their users, their employees, their partners, their ecosystem, their customers, and to give them the right of access necessary to work or to exchange or to communicate. So we have a challenge today in the digital transformation to consider cybersecurity as an enabler of your business and an enabler of a long-term digital transformation, which is very interesting because, in fact, digital could bring everybody a lot of benefits if we consider that we use digital in a safety mode, in a trusted mode.
Jean-Noël, it was a great pleasure for me that you just signed with Outscale, which is a subsidiary of Dassault system. I make no intervention. It's not my politic, and you win. So for the cloud, many cloud now, maybe stranger. I don't name the country, but what do you think for the cloud? I know the answer, but the cloud must be French.
I think that you have, with the cloud, you have a big benefit, which is the capacity to use digital resources, systems, services, applications, like you use electricity. So you just connect and you get your service, in fact, digital service. But when you virtualize your information system, you are creating risks, and you are externalizing either your digital infrastructures, applications, or your data. So you have, I would say, a short-term challenge, which is the resilience of your organization. You have to keep an autonomy in your organization, not to depend on your providers of cloud. And you have a second challenge, a long-term challenge, which is to be sure that your data are yours and not observed or collected by other extra-governmental laws, could be viewed by other organizations and people. So I think that the capacity to create trusted digital standard will be really important, heavy challenge for the whole industry. And I think that in Europe, where we have voted a law called the GDPR to protect the personal and industrial laws, we could create value chains in the digital industry where we could offer our customers, our individuals, our citizens, our organizations, a trusted value chain, an autonomous value chain with I would say, keeping freedom as the first value. And that's the reason why partnering with Outscale was essential for us. Outscale is a sovereign cloud or a trusted cloud. And we want to bring the best in-class cybersecurity solutions we create in the best cloud hosting platforms which exist to create this alternative value chain where your data and your information systems is yours.
Thank you, Jean-Noël.
Thank you very much.